Hi, I'm here at the Tokyo airport on my way back to Thailand, and I've got a real treat today for my YouTube subscribers. So many of you will know Bob Grilli as Safari Bob of America's top children's band, Annie and the Natural Wonder Band. But before there was a wonder band, Bob was playing bass behind some of the greats. Just before I headed back to Thailand, I was visiting with Bob and Annie, and Bob told me some of his great stories about the old days of the music business. So here it is, pretty much uncut from Bob and Annie's backyard in Connecticut. I put a link to the Wonder Band website below. If you've got a kid or a grandkid, their albums are educational and totally irresistible. So without further ado, Safari Bob dishes on the music business, recorded July 16th, 2022.
So, okay, here's the music business. So I decided I wanted to learn about how to play oldies music because my brother and I liked oldies. So I joined Bruno and the Volkswagens. And Bruno was a roadie for Dion and the Belmonts. And they said, dude, Bruno, maybe you should start your own band. Even though your name is Pete, we'll call you Bruno. Well, your real name really is Wesley Daniels, but we're calling you Pete Daniels. But now you're Bruno and the Volkswagens. So Bruno and the Volkswagens, I worked with for about 2 years. And then Billy, the lead singer, started his own band. And Billy was from the Bronx Italian section of Morris. And everybody was Italian. And I was of Italian extraction. But I wasn't like those guys. But I liked what they liked. I liked the music and I liked their food. So one day we're sitting at the bar and we're drunk. And Billy was staring at me with I couldn't figure out if he was mad at me or he was uncomfortable with gas from eating lots of food. He weighed 300 pounds. And I said, Bill, what's wrong? He said, what the are you doing here? And I said to him, I'm learning about harmony and my heritage. That's the story.
Now, what other groups did you play with?
Oh, well, I played with, I ran all the way home just to say I'm sorry. What can I say? I ran all the way. Whoa, 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 whoa. I ran all the way home. The Palace. Then I played with You Can Dance Every Night. The Drifters move you the island and hold you tight. You can smile, every smile for the man holds you tight beneath the dim moonlight. But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. Tell me, oh darling, save the last dance for me. And then I backed up the Capris. There's a moon out tonight. Let's go strolling. There's a girl in my arms. She's the one I adore. There's a moon out tonight. Let's go strolling in the dark. Moon out tonight. Then I worked with
Tiny Tim.
Tiptoe through the tulips. Tiptoe through the tulips. Tiny Tim, the only time I ever got egged and beer canned. But it was okay because the piano player was an alcoholic and he collected all the beers because they were full.
Ooh.
A little foamy, but they were full. And then I played with another one. There is a story high five, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. That's what I was famous for.
And your own bands.
And then you come like a rose, and everybody knows. We get you in touch. You can look, but you better not touch. Poison ivy, poison ivy. But every night you keep the poison ivy from the shaking everywhere. Charlie Brown. That's Charlie Brown. He's a clown. Charlie Brown. You better watch out. Just you wait and see. Why's everybody always picking on me? So then I played with the coasters. So we got the coasters, the drifters. Annie, remember this? Mama said,
Oh, yeah.
don't you worry. Mama said, yeah. Soldier boy, oh my little soldier boy. I will be true to you. You were my first love. And you'll be my last love. Love you so. I'll be true to you. In this whole world, I'll be the one. Let me be the one. I'll be true to you. Soldier boy, oh my little I'll be true to you. Come on, that's not bad. That's 40 years.
Ago.
Shirelles.
Oh, is that the Shirley and the Shirelles?
Annie and Elizabeth came with me to do a concert of which the Shirelles were playing, and they had a hit that called, and they were standing in the wings. I'll never forget this. And they did Mama said, and Annie was holding Elizabeth,
She was a baby.
and she brought them out on stage. Don't you worry.
Don't change your diaper in a guitar case.
Hi. Well, I really hope you're enjoying Safari Bob's stories about the music business. If you like this video, you could subscribe to my channel. But what I'd really like is if you bought one of my books. So see the description under this video for how to order them. I recommend The Vientiane Affair. This is a story about the early days of the CIA's secret war in Laos. It's got politics, history, espionage, love, and sex, among other things. I particularly recommend listening to the audiobook. I'm also providing links in the description to Annie and the Natural Wonder Band. Their albums make a great gift for any kids in your life. Okay, well, let's get back to Safari Bob's stories.
Could this be magic? My dear, my heart is overloaded. Could this be magic? My dear, how am I to know? I forgot who they were, but they were good. And then how about well, how come you say you're the one? is the best rock and roll story I've ever heard.
Now these are people you played with, right?
Right, that's what we're doing.
Right.
So,
On bass or guitar.
bass. And so Carl, we're at the Lone Star Cafe, and we're in the top of the attic where they had the dressing room. And I went up there because I was going to play with Carl Perkins. And they're all sitting around in t-shirts because it's about 100 degrees. And Carl is there, and he's bald. But he's famous for having a big pompadour. And I'm talking to him, and I said, I know all the keys, don't worry, I know everything. He said, okay, that's great. He says, well, I guess we better get ready. So he walked over to like a little dressing table, and he put on his pants, and he had a buckle, big buckle that said Carl Perkins, Honey Dunk, or blue suede shoes. Then he reached over to one of those white styrofoam heads that had his hair, and put his hair on. Wig. And he said, well, one thing about getting older in this business. I said, what's that, Mr. Perkins? He said, the belt gets wider and the hair gets higher. And I said, really? He said, yeah. He says, but I said, so when's your next gig after this one? He says, well, I'm going to play a birthday party. I said, you play birthday parties? He said, of course I do. When George Harrison calls me. And then I just went downstairs and said, oh, I'm nowhere. That's a great story. That's the end of my stories. I have no more.
It's time to end the set.
When the twilight is gone and no songbirds are singing, when the twilight is gone, you come into my arms, and here in my arms you stay while I pray. My prayer is to linger with you at the end of the day, with your lips next to mine. Tony Williams and the Platters, right? So he had 1 million hits. So we're upstairs once again in Lone Star, and it's sweating, and we're all sitting in t-shirts. And I came up there and I said, hi, I'm the bass player. I know everything. I know all your songs. I know all your hits. So this big guy, who was the bodyguard, he said, well, maybe you should talk to Tony. I said, Tony Williams. I said, hi, Mr. Williams. I love all your songs. I love my career. I love The Great Pretender. I love The Great Pretender. He says, that's okay. So then I turned to the piano player and I said, well, how long's the set? And he points at Tony sitting there drinking a scotch and orange juice, and with a little sleeveless basketball t-shirt on, looking pretty down. And he points at Tony and he says, you see that bag? And I said, yeah, it's a urine collection bag. He says, yeah. When the bag is full, the gig is over. It's time to go. That was what he said. When the bag is full, it's time to go. That's how we ended the set.
Oh my god.
That's how they timed it.
That's how they timed it.
No way.
I swear to God. I'm like in my 20s. I'm learning, wow, this is showbiz. I got to put on a toupee. I got to collect my urine bag and hit the road.
God.
When the bag is full, it's time to go. That was it.
That's nuts.
That was the quote. I haven't told that story in a